The relationships that you forge with your customers and clients mean more than any type of sale or commission or anything that you're ever going to do from a business standpoint. If you're connecting with people on a personal level, especially in an industry like mine that's an old white-haired man type of industry, being a young guy, being a guy that doesn't wear a suit and tie to work every day, being different is one thing, but at the end of the day, it's all about the results that you deliver to your clients. And a lot of that comes with relationship building. People do business with people they want to do business with. People do business with people they like. And so especially in a smaller town type of area like we're in, if you don't have relationships with your clients and customers, it's going to be a revolving door for your business, and it's going to be tough for you to succeed long term. So
The Mark Bigg Show.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Mark Bigg Show, episode number 37. Big number for me, honestly. I didn't know if I would ever get to this point, so thank you for being here. Always lead with that. Appreciate you stopping and taking time out of your day to listen to me yap a little bit, so thank you for being here. For me, this is I don't want to say monumental because that sounds a little bit more serious than it really is, but a big one for me because I've just crossed over this past Saturday as you're viewing this on Monday, November 1st, will be 5 years for me in business on my own. So I've been in, if you followed this my story at all, over the last little bit, I've been in this business for 10 years, but I actually started my own company, Biggs Financial Services, 5 years ago this week. So just very grateful for all the support that I've had, and that's kind of what I want to lead with here is just thank you for anyone that follows me, supports my company, supports my business, supports the people that work in my business, all those things. Just want to say thank you and kind of give a little bit of a lesson's not the word, but just kind of a little reflection on first 5 years, some things that I've learned, some things I've done well, not done well, things that'll propel me to success in the next 5 and hopefully 25 beyond that. But first and foremost, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Anybody that supports, once again, me, my family, my business, the people that work in my business, can't tell you what that means to me day in and day out. So many businesses, and I don't know the number, but it's a high number. So many businesses fizzle out within the first 3 to 5 years, even more so in the next 5 to 10 years. But it's a milestone for me just to be able to get to this point, have a business that the community supports, people in the surrounding community support. We have clients in probably, 15 to 20 states that support us. And can't tell you what, I never would have dreamed 5 years ago that it would be what it is now. There's 4 full-time employees but 4 full-time people that work in the office with me now that come to work every day and entrust me with their careers and the career path that they're on for me to, at the top of the company, make the right decisions, put us in the right place to succeed, and trust me enough to put their family's financial dependence on my leadership and stuff, and I don't take that lightly. So first and foremost, thank you. Thank you to the people that work with me. Thank you to my family. Everybody in the community always supports us, whether or not they're actual direct clients or not. We feel the support from people, even if they're not clients. There's people that refer their friends, family, coworkers, colleagues to us all the time, even if they don't actually darken our doors themselves, which means a lot to me. I don't understand that, to be honest with you, but it means a lot to me. So thank you. I can't say it enough. 5 years, I can't describe to you the feeling that I had 5 years ago. It was a mixture of excitedness, ambition, but also at the same time, a little fear, a little worry. Being from a single income household, leaving a comfortable position where I was treated well, making good money, didn't have a ton of responsibility except for, servicing my clients, of course, was a big jump. I spent a lot of time with mentors that I trust in this community that didn't have a biased opinion, that I could kind of really sit down and talk, finances, talk business, and just give them an idea of where I was at, what I was thinking, and got a lot of great advice from people in this community that I trust and that at that time kept it confidential so that I didn't rock the boat where I was at currently, but ended up making that decision and kind of in the fall of 2020, which a lot of people freaked out about COVID and said I was silly for starting a business during COVID and all that stuff. But I'll be honest with you, I was never scared of COVID from an actual standpoint of personal dealings with COVID or business as well. I knew the economy would bounce back, the community would bounce back, all that type of stuff. So that part really didn't weigh a ton in my decision, to be 100% frank with you. But going into it, I had about 14 to 1,500 clients, I think, at the time when I was at the previous firm. And so Ron was super gracious, and we sent a letter out to all my clients basically stating where I was going, where I was going to be. If you chose to work with me, here's how you get in contact with me. And if you wanted to stay where, I was leaving, then they would be happy to service you and your accounts and your family and all that stuff as well. So super kind gesture of him that I didn't expect, to be honest with you, but obviously showed the character that he has, the respect that he has for me, and the respect that I have for him is unwavering. And still to this day, I couldn't say thank you enough for that, because that was the first springboard for me to kind of get the word out there without rocking any boats. So, at this point in time, 5 years ago, I'm sitting there in an office that I had just spent a bunch of my savings on to build out and get all the infrastructure set up, computers, phones, all that good stuff. And there was not a single appointment on the calendar for the following tax season, which was a feeling that I'll never really be able to explain to you, just not knowing. And hoping's not the word, because we planned for it and we're prepared, but at the same time, you're just hoping that those people call. And those people did call. And so very grateful for that, and, just hit the ground running. And 5 years later, to be able to surround myself with the 4 full-time people that are with me now, I can't describe in words what that means to me as well. Work with great people and people that are driven just like I am to support their families, service the people of this community, and do the best work that they know how to do with the capabilities that we have. So super grateful for that. Some of the lessons that I think that kind of stick out to me, number one, is that plans never go to plan. And, everybody always uses the adage that God laughs when we tell him our plans. And I think he probably laughed at me numerous times throughout the course of this 5 years. But, there's a lot of things that I feel like as a company we've done well, but the plans never go to plan. The plans from what I had when I started versus what they look like now are totally different, and that's wonderful. There's things we've done well, there's things we could have done better, things we can continue to do better, and we will. But as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, if you're self-employed, whatever that looks like for you, you have to plan, of course, because if you don't plan, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, of course. But you have to be able to course correct and understand that the plans aren't always going to go the way that you planned for them to, obviously. So that's a big skill that I think people that are in the business world, or they're self-employed, or they're entrepreneurial in mind, have to take into consideration, is that you've got to be able to course correct and steer the ship a different way when the winds and the tides tell you to do so. So that's number one for me, is just you have to have your plan and be working your plan, but at the same time understand that the market's going to dictate what you should and shouldn't do. You may have this great idea of a service to provide, or a way to switch your product up, or a different way to communicate with clients, or whatever. But if the community, the market that you're searching for doesn't respond to that, then obviously that's not the correct answer. So you can't sit there and keep banging on the same door that's closed if it's not going to open. So you got to be able to course correct and make changes and be okay with those changes being made on the fly at times. I do plan, I do work hard, but there's a lot of things that I struggle with change. And so that's been something that I've really had to kind of hone in on as a leader and as an entrepreneur, is you got to be okay with the change, because change is good. Change means you're adapting to the people that are walking in your door, and your customer, your client, is telling you with their actions and their words, and sometimes their lack of action, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. So you have to be able to understand that and not just keep pushing ahead, even though your client and customer may be telling you either with words or actions that you need to be doing something different. So being able to understand that those plans are going to change. Plans are good. Plans are great. Goals are great. You just can't get hung up on them, in my opinion. We sit around and at the end of the year, which we're coming up on, we set goals and look into the next year, looking for certain things and all that stuff, which is great. But at the end of the year, I don't look back, and if I checked 5 things off the list but didn't check these other 5 off, I don't look at that as a failure. I look at that as, well, those 5 things went as planned, and these other 5, how do I get there next year, if that's still something that should be a goal? And sometimes those goals change and they shouldn't be on the list anymore. It's all dependent upon how your business is running, what the customer and the client's telling you, how you should operate, to be honest with you. Number 2, and these are in no particular order, obviously, but surround yourself with good people. And I think that is of utmost importance if you're starting a business and you need people there with you, whether it's support staff, admin staff, labor type workers, whatever it is. You have to surround yourself with good people. You can always teach a skill if they're willing to learn, but at the end of the day, their character and their integrity matter more than whatever skills they possess at that point in time. With the change in AI and technology as a whole going forward, skills are going to become commoditized, in my opinion. So, a lot of skills that you may learn in school or through job applicable training are going to be commoditized. So I think the human aspect and the human element of people that you want to work with and surround yourself with are going to be more important than ever, because people are going to be wanting more and more as we move into a more tech-driven world, that human interaction, that human connection. And so you surround yourself with good people that have high character, high integrity, and they're willing to learn a skill. That should be, in my opinion, your top kind of criteria, so to speak, of people that you surround yourself with. The skills can always be taught. They can be learned. There's going to be tools that help learn skills, et cetera, et cetera. So surrounding yourself with good people that have similar goals, that are like-minded in their character and their values, is going to become of utmost importance, in my opinion, as we move further and further into a tech-driven world. So surround yourself with good people and the right people, and I'm so fortunate to have the people around me that I do, and I can't say that enough because I mean that. Those four are like family to me. They're all friends, but I consider them family. I treat them no different than I would my two brothers if they were working alongside me. I want to put them in the best position possible to succeed, give them every opportunity that they can to feed their family and have the career that they want, the day-to-day life that they want with work and home balance and all that stuff. So surround yourself with the right people, be willing to change, be willing to course correct, and understand the type of business you're in. And I say that because I'm in a client services business, which comes with a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. I'm fortunate to have as many clients as I do, but with that comes a lot of frustration. Clients at certain times, even if they're good people, at times they feel like they own you because they pay you for the service that you provide. So that means that you should always be accessible to them. You should always respond to them within 30 seconds. You got to drop everything you're doing to service that one need if it's a need at that time. And, it's a frustrating thing for me just as a person, because there's a lot of times where clients will want me to speed up what I'm doing for them due to their own procrastination or their lack of planning or their lack of getting me what I need to do, et cetera, et cetera. But that comes with client services. So I can't sit here and get frustrated with that and be, pissed off about that day in and day out, or I'd spend every day pissed off, to be honest with you. So you got to understand the type of business that you're in. And client services is what I choose to do because I love people first and foremost. I love helping people. But with that comes, you got to deal with the people too, the good and the bad. And in any type of client services that's on a personal level, in my opinion, like finance is, you're going to see the good and bad of most of the people that you interact with if you interact with them long enough. And so you got to be okay with that. You got to understand they're human. They have other things going on too. Finance and taxes and investments is not at the forefront of people's brains every day. I understand that. So, there's a give and take there. You got to have the ability to give them grace, show them grace when they're, frustrating you in some manner, but at the same time, expect that from them too. And if you have a good relationship with them, you've built that foundation with them, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have that grace with you too. So just understanding the client/customer relationship with you based on what type of business you're in is a big deal, because there's a lot of frustration, like I said, that could come if I let these things get to me and weather me down. I'd be pissed off literally every single day for probably over half my day. But once again, that's the type of industry and business that I chose to be in. So I can't let that dampen my day. I just got to understand, hey, this comes with the territory, and continue to service that client best way that I can, and continue to grow that relationship, because that's what it's all about, is the people. So, and that'll kind of lead me to the last one, is it's all about people. The relationships that you forge with your customers and clients mean more than any type of sale or commission or anything that you're ever going to do from a business standpoint. If you're connecting with people on a personal level, especially in an industry like mine that's an old white-haired man type of industry, being a young guy, being a guy that doesn't wear a suit and tie to work every day, being different is one thing, but at the end of the day, it's all about the results that you deliver to your clients. And a lot of that comes with relationship building. People do business with people they want to do business with. People do business with people they like. And so especially in a smaller town type of area like we're in, if you don't have relationships with your clients and customers, it's going to be a revolving door for your business, and it's going to be tough for you to succeed long term. So spend the time and effort to build relationships with your clients, with your customers, with your referrals, with the people that are in your office. When people come in and they feel that your place of business is a home-like setting, regardless of what industry you're in, you're going to see some success. They're going to put their guard down just a little bit because they feel already just a little bit at home. And people can read when it's not real also, in my opinion. So I've been in places before where you can tell there's just tension between the front office staff and the owner of the business or the manager or whatever. You can feel that, and that kind of puts you on edge too, and you shouldn't even be on edge being in that place of business. So it's all about the people. It's all about the relationships with the people you work with and the clients and customers that service your business. So focus on those things, and I think that's going to deliver some long-term success for you. So hope that helps a little bit. 5 years in business, I don't know everything, but I know a lot more than I did 5 years ago. I can promise you that. And I'm continually growing and learning and trying to adapt and provide the best service that I know how to the clients that trust us with their finances. So 5 years in the business, all I can say is thank you. And can't wait to see what the next 5 years look like. I'm sure it looks nothing like what I have planned in my head, and that's great. That's the beautiful thing about business and about life is things don't go to plan. So be ready to adapt and change, love your people, and understand the type of business that you're in, whether it be product or service-based, client services, client relations, and really lean into that. So thank you again for supporting us for 5 years now. And if you've listened to this podcast once or all 37 times, thank you as well. Please like and follow us on YouTube and Spotify and all the places where you listen to this. Subscribe, share it if you would. I'd be so grateful. But if you're a client of mine, especially, thank you for the support over the last 5 years, or a client of our firms in general. Thank you, and can't wait to see what the next 5 years look like. So we'll see you here in a couple weeks on the next episode of The Mark Big Show.